Welcome, this is Vijay Philip from MES Adi Krandivir Vasudev Balavanth Fadke Vidyalaya English Medium New Panvel. Students, today we are going to learn English Standard 10 Poem 1.4 All the World's a Stage written by William Shakespeare. About the author. William Shakespeare 1564-1616 was an English poet, playwright and actor widely regarded as the greatest writer in the English language and the world's prominent dramatist. He was born in Stratford-upon-Avon in England. His famous works include Merchant of Venice, Julius Caesar, and the Twelfth Night, along with many others. He is often called England's national poet and the Bard of Avon. This poem is taken from his play As You Like It. It is a monologue, that is, a loud speech to oneself by one of the characters in the play. Here he compares the world to a stage where the drama of human life is enacted. Let's see the poem. All the world's a stage. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. Players means what? Actors. So according to the poet, he says that the whole world is a stage and all the men and women in it are merely actors. Clear? They have their exit and entrance, and one man in his time plays many parts, his act being 7 ages. Exit means death, entrance means birth. So the poet says that they have their own exits and their own entrances. That is, they are born and they die. A man plays many different parts, each actor playing 7 roles during his life. Let's see the 7 sages. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. Mewling means crying of a baby. Puking means vomiting. So, the first stage is that of infancy, where the baby is crying and vomiting in the arms of a nurse or a caretaker or mother. So the child is always crying weakly and throwing up in his mother's arms. So let's see the second stage. Then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. Whining means crying in a complaining way. Satchel means school bag. Okay, this is the second stage. In this stage is a schoolboy stage, complaining and crying. He goes to school early in the morning with a well scrubbed shining face. He carries his school bag and creeps slowly like a snail, unwilling to go to school. And he doesn't want to school. That is why he reluctantly go to school. Now, third stage. And then the lover, sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad, made to his mistress' eyebrow. Sighing means emitting a long audible breath expressing sadness. Furnace means enclosed structure in which materials can be heated. woeful ballad, sad song. Okay, the third stage, that is the role of a lover who writes love songs praising his beloved, and who is breathless and flying like a funnel with a passion. He sings sad songs to the beauty of his lover. Now let's see the fourth stage. Then a soldier full of strange oaths and bearded like the part, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking in the bubble reputation, even in the cannon's mouth. Part means leopard. That is the poetical short form of leopard. Bubble reputation, an image that is very short-lived, just like a bubble. Cannon's mouth, in the face of great danger. Okay, let's see the explanation. The fourth stage is that of an aggressive soldier, bearded like a leopard and full of oaths. Okay, and he wanted to prove that he is willing to do anything to prove his manliness. He even grows a beard to display his manliness. He tries to build a reputation for himself. However, it is short-lived, and he is willing to risk even his life in this process. And then justice, in fair round belly with good capen lined, with eyes severe and beard in formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. This is the fifth stage. The fifth role is that of a matured middle-aged man with a round belly. He is stern and formal and full of wisdom. He is keen on justice and has opinions on bribery, a system which was prevalent at that time. He is full of wise saying and give modern examples. Capen means capen is a hen usually fed a lot for meat. That is capen. And this fifth stage, this is the middle-aged man stage. His appearance is totally changed. He has a pot belly, that is a round belly. His eyes are very serious, and his beard is formally cut, and he has lot of experience in his life. Okay, wise source means he has full of wisdom or wise sayings, wisdom or wise sayings, and he has lot of life in his life. Now let's see the sixth stage. The sixth age shift into the lean and slippered pantaloon with the spectacles on the nose and pouch on side. Slippered pantaloon means thin legs in slippers and baggy pants. In the sixth stage, man has become old with thin legs in slippers and loose pants. He has spectacle on his nose and a pouch by his side. His youthful horse well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank and his big manly voice, turning again towards childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all that ends this strange, eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion, sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. Youthful hose, close fitting slacks or stockings, shank, legs, treble, shrill or weak voice, oblivion, the state of being unaware or unconscious of surroundings and happenings. Sans means without. Okay, let's see the explanation. He used to wear close-fitting stockings which he had saved from his younger days are now too big for his thin legs, which have shrunk with ages. Shrunk means legs that have become thin. And then the last stage, that is second childishness. In this stage, he returned to helpless, ignorant. He's just like a child. His loud voice, which was once manly, has now become childish and shrill. There are whistle sounds when he talks. See, the last stage of all, which ends this eventful life, is when man becomes senile and enters his second childhood. He is unaware of what is happening around him. This final stage is when he is without teeth, without vision, without taste, and without anything. He has lost his memory. He's lost everything, even teeth, eyes, sight, and taste. Okay? Now, let's see the figures of speech. First one, all the world's a stage. Here, the poet compared the world is indirectly compared to a stage or implicitly compared to a stage. That is why it's a metaphor. And all the men and women merely players. Again, metaphor. All the men and women are implicitly compared to players. They have their exit and their entrance. Metaphor. Implicit comparison between two different things. Then alliteration, the sound of E is musically repeated. Again, exit and entrance, opposite ideas as expressed by the poet. Entrance means birth, exit means death. So that is why it is a antithesis. And fourth question, and one man in his time plays many parts. Again, alliteration. Alliteration, the sound of P is repeated. Then inversion, that means the sentence is not in the correct grammatical order. The correct order should be, and one man plays many parts in his lifetime. Fifth, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. Onomatopoeia, that is, mewling denotes the sound of the cry of an infant. Next, then the whining schoolboy with his satchel. Again, onomatopoeia. Whining denotes sound of the schoolboys. Whine. Okay. Then other than this, alliteration, the sound of S is musically repeated. Then creeping like a snail. That is simile. The pace of the schoolboy is directly compared to snail. Sighing like furnace, again simile, the sighing of a lover or the lover's deep breath is directly compared to the fire in furnace. That is why it's a simile. Next, with a woeful ballad. This is alliteration. W, the sound of W is repeated, then transferred epithet. The adjective woeful has been transferred from the U to the ballad. Next, bearded like a pard, simile. The soldier is directly compared to a leopard for his fierceness. Quick in quarrel. Alliteration. The sound of Q is musically repeated. Next, seeking the bubble, repetition, metaphor. Repetition is indirectly compared to bubble, which is short-lived. Next, even in the cannon's mouth. Metaphor, metonymy and hyperbole. Metaphor. The poet indirectly or implicitly compared danger to cannon's mouth. Next, metonymy. The poet has used the word cannon's mouth to represent death. Hyperbole, an over-exaggerated statement. Next one, and then the justice in fair round belly with good cape and lined. Inversion. The sentence is not in the correct grammatical order. The correct order should be, and then the justice in fair rounded belly lined with a good capen, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut. Again, inversion. The correct order should be with severe eyes and formal cut beard. Next, and whistles in his sound, onomatopoeia, because whistle denotes sound. Next one, for his shrunk shank. Alliteration. The sound of sh is musically repeated. Next one is second childishness, metaphor. Old age is indirectly compared to second childhood. The last one, sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. Repetition and climax. The word sans is musically repeated, so that is why it's a repetition. Then ideas are arranged in ascending order. It's a climax. Okay children, I hope everybody understood. So thank you students.